picked to finish down near the bottom in the Big East. They battled until the final weekend for the #1 spot. Today against Texas Tech, size would be a big factor. David Kane here with the rebound. He finds Derek Brown. He jams it down. St. John's on a 9-0 run. But Will Flemings gets Texas Tech smiling. He had a terrific game from inside and outside. Hits that jumper at 26 points, knocking down a three-pointer there. Again from downtown. Tech down only 3 at halftime, but St. John's gets it together down the stretch. David Kane, what a year he has had in his first year starting. Finds Chanel Scott. Kane, another of his 11 assists here. Carl Beckett leans in the lane. And then Kane grabbing the board, which will lead to the Beckett jam. St. John's pulls away and winning it 85-67. David Kane with a triple-double, 12 points, 11 assists, 11 rebounds. And take a look at what happened with the bench. Richardson. And tough is the key word. Warren Lynn to Daryl Hawkins to Corliss Williamson. He jams this one down. Arkansas up by 5. Williamson didn't even start, still had a big day. Scotty Thurman takes a pass and scores. Arkansas up by 11. Roger Crawford to Elmer Martin to Thurman to Daryl Hawkins. He hits the jumper. Arkansas by 15. Holy Cross says, let's get a break here. Rob Feaster then tries to get the Crusaders going. Takes the pass and the foul. Then in the second half, Corey Beck loses the ball. Gordon Hamilton picks it up, beats Feaster. He jams it down. But the Crusaders turning it over too many times. Thurman intercepts this one. Shepard gets it to Hawkins, to Beck. Arkansas by 16 at that point. Derek Farkas can't handle the pass. Clinton McDaniel to Crawford. He scores. And the Crusaders' visit to the NCAA tournament is short-lived. They get blown out. 94-64 is the final. Arkansas rolls easily in this one, their 21st victory of the season. Corliss Williamson with 19 points. Feaster had 23 because over the last few years, they have been tough in the first round. Jamie Matthews bounced past to Marquis James. Cardinals were up 5 early. Adonis Jordan, though, inside to Richard Scott. Nice step there, loses 3 Cardinals. He gets fouled. Kansas is up by 3. But Ball State would not fool. Jamie Matthews to Jermel Sylvester. He hits a jumper. Cardinals down 2. Adonis Jordan then drives, passes to Steve Woodbury. He hits the 3. Jayhawks up by 5. Nick Hunsaker's reaction. It's tough to go into the locker room like that in the second half. It doesn't get any better. Rex Walters, he was as hot as they get with the 3. Adonis Jordan then with a 3 from way out. Jordan again, another 3. Rex Walters, you get the picture. 3-pointers were going in from everywhere. Walters, 6 of 6. Jayhawks 10 of 19 on 3-pointers. 94-72 is the final. Walters finished with 23 points and 100% from 3-point range, tying a record held by 2 players. Their conference tournament in the Southwest. Roger Reed and son Randy says, we got the strategy going. Reed does some beautiful penetration to Mark Durant, who dishes to Gary Trost. He lays it in. And then Kevin Nixon gives to Trost, who makes the nice little lefty hook there. 9-0 run to start the game. SMU had all kinds of difficulty shooting. As a matter of fact, 2 of 20 from 3-point range. Kinder with the air ball. Gerald Lewis with a brick. This one isn't even short. Reed then penetrates and gives to Chris Miller to try and wake the fans up. He jams this one down. BYU 80-71. They go off to the win. Trost with 26 points. Nick Sanderson had 13 points. Tim Mason with 16 points in the losing cause. But the season is over for SMU. And those that argue that SMU didn't belong, feel the number 14 seed out of the MCC, and the Seminoles were ready to go. But Sasha Hoopman jamming this one down. Game is tied at 18 apiece. Florida State then goes on a run. Charlie Ward comes up with the steal. Sam Cassell threading the needle, back to Ward. He lays it up and in. Cassell again to Ward, like having 2 point guards out there. He makes a circus shot, throws that one up. Florida State on an 18-0 run. And Rodney Dobard stepped up the defense. The big block there. Dobard wasn't finished. He blocks Hoopman, taking this one up. Says, get that one out of there. He had 6 blocks. Cassell then to Douglas Edwards on the break. Showtime, Evansville. Jim Cruz, it was a nice trip, but it comes to an end. 82-70. Sam Cassell with 18 points and 6 assists. Charlie Ward with 15 points and 4 steals. And Dick was the game of the day thus far, where the top seed could not pull it off down to the wire here. Tulane comes out flying. Matt Green with the lob. And then Anthony Reed not scoring. Green worked inside the hoop and the foul. Perry Clark's team is up by 2 at halftime. Back and forth, and in the second half, Brian Henson to Vincent Jackson. Tulane hangs on. The lob from Laveldro Simmons to Anthony Reed. Then Reed off the miss with a little showtime to tie the game at 51 apiece as he gets up and jams it down. Tulane gives it away here. Anthony Bean with the steal to Vincent Jackson. He gets a dunk. It was a dunk fest. Perry Clark says, be more careful. Pointer Williams with a nice pass to Matt Green. He gets fouled. Tulane by 1. Simmons with a chance to ice it. The free throw misses. K-State one last chance. Bean loses the ball on the way up. Now, how many games has Bean won this year on the way up in the last second? But not this time. Tulane prevails, and Perry Clark, it's time to dance. 55-53. Number 11 knocking off number 6. Matt Green with 13 points and 3 rebounds. K-State turning the ball over 20 times. And for much of this game, he was right. They were asleep. Long Beach State was ready to play. Lucius Harris, the Big West Player of the Year and all-time leading scorer. Chris Tower backdoor to Harris for the dunk. And then they work the ball around and go to the money man. Lucius Harris jams it down, 13 in the first half. And see the man shaded, that's Brian Camper. Mike Atkinson sets the play, the lob to Camper. He's up and over and knocks it in. Seth Greenberg's team was up 1 at halftime. He says second half, same thing, right? The lob to Camper again, but the Illini pick it up. Robert Bennett with the steal. Andy Kaufman, if he's open, forget it. It's going in, 65-61. Lucius Harris with a big 3, 1-point game. Chris Tower backdoor to Harris. The 49ers within 1 again. And Rennie Clemens drives down the lane. Where was the defense? 3-point game. Harris with the prayer. It misses. And Seth Greenberg will not live to fight another day in this tournament. 75.
They're on the break. Arizona, though, would go on a 25-zip run. Chris Mills, a slow start, the hook and the foul. They led by 12. Then Mills goes to the bench. And Pete Eisenrich, the rejection. Ed Stokes follows with a missed dunk. Arizona would go cold, and Eisenrich would catch fire. 2 of his 19. Broncos up by 1. A 1-point game when Dwayne Lewis misses, but Kevin Dunn on the follow. Santa Clara beat Arizona on the boards, out-hustled, and they had a 3-point lead. Down the stretch, Steve Nash, the freshman, 6 straight from the line, a 6-point Santa Clara lead. The Wildcats wouldn't quit. Chris Mills catches fire. They leave him alone here. Miscommunication, drains the long 3. Now it's a 3-point Bronco lead. 5 seconds to go. They missed the free throw. Damon Stoudemire for the tie. Doesn't get it. Dick Davies' team wins. He is stunned afterward. They move on.
Man, a few words right now, but I'm just elated with what went on and the way that our players handled adversity during the course of the game. When we went down 10, they didn't panic. I did, but they didn't.
Tonight, it seemed like so many rebounds were in our hands, out of the hands, out of bounds. That killed us.
64-61, Arizona, Dick, beaten by East Tennessee State last year in a 14-versus-3 game. They go out early. Arizona got off to a cold start. They trailed by 12, as we told you. Then a 25-zip run. I don't know if I can ever remember, maybe you can, in the history of games, a team surviving a 25-0 run to come back and win. That is unbelievable.
I just think it was incredible when you talk about that kind of run. But, you know, basically you talk about Arizona. Great numbers during the regular season the last 4 years. The 90s have not been good to Lute Olson and his basketball team. In fact, in the 90s, you ready for this? Second-round exit in 1990. Second-round exit in 91. 92 a first-round exit, 93 a first-round exit. And you know what's really going to get the media critics all over that program? Lute was quoted all over saying that the Pac-10 doesn't get any respect. The media are always knocking the Pac-10. Well, the bottom line is the media wants productivity. We've said from day one, the Pac-10 this year has been absolutely mediocre. No doubt. Last year they had some quality teams. This year they have been very average. Now it's up to UCLA, but a big win also by California.
Yeah, Cal moves on. The Bruins play tomorrow. That's the other Pac-10 team. Meanwhile, in the West region, Missouri and Temple, the 10-versus-3 game in Salt Lake City. We'll show you highlights of this game later, but it's just gone final, and the Owls move on to the second round, 75-61. They will take on Santa Clara on Saturday. Elsewhere in the West region, Long Beach and the Illini. First half, Lucius Harris for the 49ers finishes it with a dunk. They had a 1-point lead at the break. Late second half, Long Beach backdoor. Chris Tower to Harris. 27 points for Long Beach's big gun. Illini down 1, and Rennie Clemens was big. Spins in the lane. Almost loses it. Gets it back, and look at the underhanded scoop. Illini by 1. Under 20 seconds again. Clemens knifes down the lane, puts Illinois up by 3. No call there. Long Beach a chance to tie. Harris crowded on the three-pointer. Can't get it down. Seth Greenberg's team goes home a loser, 75-72, Dick.
Well, we're going to take the end of the game right now. Here is the winner, baby. We're going to watch. Look at the little handoff. There is Harris. He doesn't come in to stop the ball. But Clemens is going to come off that little handoff, go right down the middle of the court. There he is down the lane. Freeze it. He's got inside position on Lucius Harris. Harris should have been in there to stop the ball. He's going to split the 2 defensive players. He's going to lay this baby up, and they're going to celebrate. And Ludu says, we got the W, baby.
Big edge on the boards. Deion Thomas had 20 points. They will take on the winner of this ballgame, which was this afternoon, Vandy and Boise State at Salt Lake City. Vandy playing the pressure defense. Dan Hall, the steal and the dunk, a 7-point lead early for the Commodores. Then Bill McCaffrey, his first tournament game since helping Duke over Kansas in the title game a couple years ago, spins and cuts. Vandy up 14. Then McCaffrey, after a slow start, he had 4 threes. He had 26 points, and Bobby Dye's Broncos go down 92-72. 20 of those McCaffrey points in the second half. Chris Lawson had 16 points and 8 rebounds. So check out the brackets now. It is wide open, with Arizona getting knocked out. Temple and Santa Clara on Saturday. Illinois against the 3-seed Vanderbilt, Dick.
Well, I think Michigan's got to be celebrating, but watch out if they're Michigan for Georgia Tech. When you look at that bracket right there, Illinois and Vanderbilt match up. Illinois susceptible to traps, susceptible to pressure, because Clemens is not a legitimate point guard. I don't think, though, that Vanderbilt can go out full court and trap. And for that reason, I think Illinois will prevail like they beat them in the Great Alaska Shootout. I think Deion Thomas and their people will be strong inside. Kaufman's going to have a big game, because this is a very good Vanderbilt team. Yeah. And they can shoot the ball, got great motion on offense. And Eddie Fogler is doing something right, really motivating well.
But Temple's the team I liked out of that bracket. I like it a lot better now that Arizona is gone. We're going to come back and check out the Duke Blue Devils, the 2-time defending champions, underway. You know, they always blow their opponents out in the first round. We'll see if the Chief and company did it again against the Salukis tonight.
This NCAA tournament special is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that fresh, pure, natural taste. Nothing beats a Bud.
And welcome back. Midwest first-round game. Southern Illinois against Duke at the horizon near Chicago, Mike Krzyzewski's hometown. 2 questions. Could he fulfill all the ticket requests for his relatives? And how would Grant Hill with the toe look? Not 100%, but he did look pretty good, and the Blue Devils coasted over Southern Illinois. Hill dishing off to Antonio Lang right there. Then he finds Cherokee Parks, and Chief powers his way inside. Everyone was hitting for Duke, especially from the outside. Chris Collins for 3. Bobby Hurley was sensational hitting the 3. Grant Hill showing his range. For some reason, the Salukis just didn't catch on. They left them open from outside all day. Thomas Hill the 3. Duke was 14 for 19 from beyond the arc. And then on the break, that's a welcome sight for Duke fans. Grant Hill up the reverse dunk. Bobby Hurley, 25 points, 8 for 9 from the field. He also had the 7 assists, and Duke sets a regional record, 14 of 19 there. Ashraf Amaya held to just 3 points. So Duke typically off and running. Check the history of first-game tournament wins. The average more than 25 points per game. LSU and Cal, we talked about that game. It just went final tonight. A big first half for Jason Kidd and Lamont Murray on the break. Murray throws it down. Then Kidd steals the inbounds pass. Misses the layup, but Murray follows with the dunk.
Watch Murray on the defensive end. Here he is, hustling back. Rejection City, baby. Get it out of here, Brandon.
Kidd and Murray so good together, Dick. Kidd misses the jumper here.
We're going to watch the missed jumper. We'll watch Murray up on the glass. The good offensive rebound.
Dale Brown down by 7 at the break, but in the second half, he'd watch as Murray, more moves, spins inside and throws it down. Again, LSU would come back. Paul Johnson, 5'8", darts through the lane. Look at him hang and hit, ties the game at 48. Now, 6 seconds to go. The play we showed you before. Jason Kidd spins in the lane.
That's awesome, baby, with a capital A. He's a PTPer, a diaper dandy. Celebrate, Jason Kidd. Good night, Dale Brown.
Kidd, 16 points, and Lamont Murray, 23 points. How far can Cal go? This is a team that got hot, 9-1. after Coach Bozeman takes over, gets the job. Maybe that'll give him a boost. I think they designed it that way.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It sets up the matchup we talked about earlier today. We have the heir apparent to the best point guard in America, Mr. Jason Kidd, now going to go against one of the 5 best point guards I have ever seen on a collegiate level, Bobby Hurley. What a great matchup. I'm sure Kidd's going to try to post up on Hurley inside. I think Duke has too much for him. I think Duke ultimately will break this game open, win by double figures, setting up where they have to win 2 games in a row. I said it from day one. They don't have to really win 4. Duke's too strong for their opponents in the early rounds. They're set up a 2-game run to get to the Final Four because you have to win 4 to get there. Watch out. Duke will be there.
They will take on Kansas at the Horizon Saturday, as long as the Cal Duke game that we talked about. When we come back, we'll shift over to the Southeast region. Anthony Hardaway and Memphis State taking on the Hilltoppers, a dangerous team from Western Kentucky. Welcome back. We shift over to the Southeast region now. The 4 games at Orlando today. Seton Hall, the number 2 seed, taking on Tennessee State. The great turnaround for Frankie Allen's team from last year, but they would need a lot against the Pirates today because they were playing well. Terry DeHare steps in, steals the careless pass, and the all-time leading scorer in the Big East gets it done. Dick, and Danny Hurley played well.
Well, Danny Hurley really played well. He's been coming off the bench, giving him some outstanding play. There he is downtown with the trifecta. He got blanked in his last game. Hey, Terry DeHare with the little dish, baby. It's Dump City. Drive, draw, dish the rock.
31-9 Seton Hall run really put the game away. 81-59 is the final as the Pirates, the 2 seed, move on into the second round. DeHare, 19 points and 6 assists. Next up for them, the winner of this ball game, Western Kentucky and Memphis State. Anthony Hardaway. A tough night here? Yeah, I think so. Blocked by Cephas Bunton, Dick.
Well, you know, it's blocked by Bunton, but Hardaway gets the second chance, and it's blocked by Mr. Flowers. Anthony says, wait a minute, I'm the superstar.
One more
Don't
block,
put it by me. There's another rejection. Penny says, wait a minute.
Western Kentucky, not big, but they're very athletic. Finally, Hardaway, the beautiful look to Anthony Douglas. Memphis State back within 1 in the second half. Late in the game, off the miss. Darren Horn bats to the head to Mark Bell for the lay-in. Hilltoppers by 3. Under 10 to go. Hardaway does not take the last shot. Gives it off to Leon Mitchell. To Rodney Newsom, Dick.
Who throws up a big-time Brick City, USA, baby. All bricks right there. And a big L for Penny Hardaway. The question is, will this be the last time that we'll see Penny in a college uniform? He's the one player I would pay to see play. He's such an entertaining player. I personally believe Anthony Hardaway will be part of the NBA draft and be a really, really solid choice for many clubs as a #1 selection. It'll be either Hardaway or it'll be Mashburn or Mr. Weber. I think Weber will come out if Michigan wins the national championship.
If he does leave, he doesn't go out in a high note, just 8 for 21 from the floor. Meanwhile, you called it right. You said the Hilltoppers would win. You're on a roll today. How far can this team go?
Well, I think, you know, they're a basketball team that could create some problems. I like Darnell Mee. I think, though, when you look at this team right now, they're going to run into a real buzzsaw against one of the hottest teams in America, really excelling and playing just super basketball. And you know who they are. They're my alma mater, Seton Hall.
Not the branch campus, but the real Seton Hall.
Yeah, I went to the branch. I couldn't get into the real one. You had to have a 2.0 average. I was 0.1.
In the Southeast in Orlando, the Posse, a very tough task. They'll have a hard time creating turnovers against a quick Florida State team. And Western Kentucky up next for Seton Hall. When we come back, we'll shift over the East region. Carolina playing, also Glenn Robinson and Purdue against Rhode Island. Would it be his last game?
15 seed Santa Clara, champs of the West Coast Conference, a team that lost to Pac-10 doormat Stanford by 31 this year. This figured to be easy, it was anything but. Kevin Dunn on the break, and Santa Clara leads by 12 in the first half. But at the end of the first and start of the second half, Chris Mills and Arizona go on a 25-0 run. Dick Davey, first-year coach, down 12. But as Broncos come back, they out-hustle Arizona all night. Kevin Dunn, the rebound, the putback, the Broncos by 3. Down the stretch, at the line, freshman Steve Nash hit 8 consecutive free throws. Santa Clara up 6. Wildcats down but not out. Chris Mills takes what looked like it was going to be a turnover and turns it into a 3. Makes it a 3-point deficit. Now, after a key miss by Dunn, 2 missed free throws, down 3. David Stoudemire to tie. Draws iron, nothing else. And one of the biggest upsets in the history of the tournament. This is what we call in the office pools a bracket breaker, as Santa Clara knocks off 2-seed Arizona 64-61, losing despite the 25-0 run. John Chaney, the matchup with Eddie Jones blocking, Jason Ivey stealing, and then watch Jones again for another Temple steal against Norm Stewart's Missouri Tigers. From the outside, Rick Brunson missed the three, but Jones with a putback slam. Temple by 5 at the break. Then Aaron McKee from the outside, 3 of his 24. And Jones also added 24. Fadeaway baseline J here, and John Chaney moves on. Winning 74-61, Temple, 15 steals, forcing 22 turnovers, eliminating the Big 8 tourney champs.
They mark the return of Derek Phelps back from a bruised tailbone. First half, some scary stuff. Lester Lyons in on Phelps, and Phelps goes flying. One of 2 falls for Phelps in this game. Meantime, as for the game, UNC using their size to their advantage. Big guy Eric Montross with 17 points. Second half, Phelps, 1 of 2 steals on the night. This one was easy. North Carolina wins it by 20. Phelps means so much to this team. He also added 6 points in 14 minutes of action. Purdue up 1 at the half. Second half, we see the monster in Glenn Robinson. Purdue up by 6, but the Rams fight back. Mike Brown pulling up for the 3. Rhode Island up by 3. Then Robinson, the dish to Quanzo Martin. He can't handle it, so we go the other way. Up to Abdul Fox for a little showtime. Rams up by 9. Gene Cady bumming, but Purdue had Robinson. Purdue down by 5. 28 seconds left. Robinson, another 3. Purdue down by 3. Seconds ticking down. Robinson trying to tie it, but no good. So Rhode Island hangs on and beats the Boilermakers. Glenn Robinson tried but couldn't do it alone. He actually outscored the rest of his teammates. 36 points to 32. Rhode Island just thrilled, I bet.